Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So we're continuing our discussion of Sri Radha Tattva, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 4, verse 71. The description of Srimati Radharani. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. Because she is the personified Ladini Shakti, pleasure-giving potency. And one gives pleasure to Krishna by acting on the platform of Krishna Prema. So the Hladini Shakti is full of Krishna Prema. Radharani is full of Krishna Prema. Full of Krishna Prema means everything about her is Krishna Prema. So generally from like materially we say mind, senses, body, like that it's being said, but Radharani's mind, senses, body, everything is spiritual, which means that everything is steeped in Krishna Prema. Why? Because everything exists only to give pleasure to Krishna. So Prabhupada is writing here, therefore she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. So there is no other source of enjoyment. Krishna we say is Atma, Rama, Apta, Kama, etc. But there is no other source of enjoyment for Krishna except Radharani. Sri Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is internally different from him. He cannot enjoy anything which is internally different from him. Therefore, Radha and Krishna are identical. So he cannot enjoy anything which is internally different from him. Radharani is the one, is same as Krishna. He is internally non-different from Krishna. So Krishna experiences bliss from Radharani. The Sandhini portion of Sri Krishna's internal potency has manifested the all-attractive form of Sri Krishna, and the same internal potency in the Hladini feature has presented Srimati Radharani, who is the attraction for the all-attractive. So Krishna's form comes from the Sandhini Shakti. So internal potency has three: Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladini. Three features. So overall, Krishna's Shaktis are of three types: internal, Antaranga, Bahiranga, Tatastha. Antaranga, Bahiranga, Tatastha. Antaranga, internal energy; Bahiranga, external energy or material energy; Tatastha is Jiva Shakti. In the internal, there are three parts: Sandhini, Samvit, Hladini. The Sandhini Shakti is responsible for Krishna's form, all the forms of the spiritual world, all the forms of all of Krishna's associates, etc. Except Radharani. Radharani is the is coming from Hladini Shakti. Is the personification of Hladini Shakti. And she is the attraction for the all attractive. Krishna is all attractive, Sarva Karshaka. But she is the attraction. No one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna because she's not different. She's same as Krishna, and Krishna cannot enjoy anything which is internally different from him. So we have to remember this. We have to remember this. So this is the actual now. So the verse says, now please listen to how Lord Krishna's consorts help him taste rasa and how they help in his pastimes. So this is the crux of understanding Krishna prema, or the Gopi prema, the love that gopis Radharani show to Krishna. mm, why they demonstrate, why they show that love is being explained here. It says, now we will listen to how Lord Krishna's consorts help him taste rasa, and how they help in his pastimes. Okay. The beloved consorts of Lord Krishna are of three kinds: goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, queens of Dwarka, and the um, Brajangana, the milkmaids of Brajangana, they're called. Braja Angana means beautiful women of Braja. So Krishna Kanta, consorts of Krishna are of three types. Trivida Prakara. Eka Lakshmi Gana. So one is Lakshmi Gana. Then there is second one is Mahishi Gana. Mahishi Gana. Lakshmi Gana, Mahishi Gana, Brajangana. So Lakshmi Gana is the goddess of fortune, Mahishi Gana are the queens of Dwarka, and Brajangana are the beautiful women of Braja. Just as the fountainhead Lord Krishna is the cause of all incarnations, so Sri Radha is the cause of all these consorts. The goddess of fortune are partial manifestations of Srimati Radhika. Partial manifestation. So, Anga, Amsha. So, goddess of fortune are the Amsha of Radhika. And the queens are reflections. Bimba, Pratibimba. And so the queens are reflections of Radhika. The queens of Dwarka are the reflections of Radhika. And the Lakshmi are the Amsha of Radhika. The Vraja Devis have diverse bodily features. They are her expansions and are the instruments for expanding rasa. So the Vraja Devis are her expansions, Radhika's expansions, and they have different bodily features, and they are the instruments for expanding rasa. Without many consorts, there is not such exaltation in rasa. Therefore, there are many manifestations of Srimati Radharani to assist in the Lord's pastime. So all the gopis are just manifestations of Radharani, expansions of Radharani. And all their work is to expand the rasa. Expand the rasa. So without many consorts, without many kanta, there is not such exaltation in rasa. So all these consorts in Braja have varieties of sentiments and mellows, bhava and rasa. They help Lord Krishna taste all the sweetness of the rasa dance and the other pastimes. So, just to summarize, the gopis are all expansions of Srimati Radhika, and their existence is only to expand the rasa. Mm, and uh, so they help Krishna taste the rasa by expanding it. Mm. So, what if there's one person, there is so much rasa can be experienced, and now there is so many of them. So the rasa expands. Mm. So they help Lord Krishna taste all sweetness uh, of the rasa dance and other pastimes. So this is a very nice verse we can remember. Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini Govinda Sarvasva Sarvakanta Shiromani. Govinda Nandini, Govinda Anandini, Govinda Nandini. Means Govinda Anandini. One who gives Ananda to Govinda. Who is that? Radha. Govinda Mohini. She doesn't just give Ananda, but she even bewilders him, mystifies him. Radha. Govinda Sarvasva. She is everything for Govinda. Be all and end all of Govinda. That means Krishna is incomplete without Radha. That is why in our Sampradaya we don't keep Krishna alone. Because Krishna is very, very incomplete without Radha. He cannot be happy without Radha. Govinda Sarvasva. And Sarvakanta Shiromani of all among all the consorts. She is the Shiromani. She is the head jewel, crown jewel. Govinda Nandini, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva, Sarvakanta Shiromani. Instead, that Radharani possesses all the attractiveness to attract all attractive, all the attractiveness. She's called Devi. Devi means what? Devi means resplendent and most beautiful. Or else it means the lovely abode of the worship and love sports of Lord Krishna. Devi. Radharani is called Devi. Devi means resplendent and most beautiful. That is one meaning. And the other meaning is she is the lovely abode uh, of Krishna Puja. Krishna Puja Kridara Vasati Nagari. Krishna Puja and Krida. Worship of Krishna and sports of Krishna. She is the abode, Dhama. That means her only the thing is to worship Krishna and to engage in his sports. She is also called Krishnamayi. Krishnamayi means what? One who is within and without are Krishna. She is full of Krishna. She sees Lord Krishna wherever she casts a glance. Wherever she sees, she only sees Krishna. Or Krishnamayi means that she is identical with Lord Krishna. So two meanings for Krishnamayi. Full of Krishna, identical to Krishna. Her worship, Aradhana, consists of fulfilling the desires of Krishna. Therefore, the Puranas call her Radhika. So this name itself is so beautiful. Aradhana is built into the name. So what is her worship? Her worship means fulfilling the desires of Krishna. The name Radha is derived from the root word aradhana, which means worship. The personality who excels all in worshipping Krishna may therefore be called Radhika, the greatest servitor. Hmm. Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse which says, truly the personality of Godhead has been worshipped by her. Therefore, Lord Govinda, being pleased, has brought her to a lonely spot, leaving us all behind. So this is when Krishna disappears from the sight of the gopis. Hmm. So then they say that he's been pleased, and then they see Krishna with another gopi. So their footprints on the uh, floor, on the ground, and then they say, yeah, because he's been worshipped by her. He's so pleased that she's brought her to a lonely spot, leaving us all behind, which means that she is the supreme. She's the best worshipper, greatest worshipper. Therefore, Radha is Paramadevata, supreme goddess, and she's worshipable for everyone. She's the protectress of all, Sarvapalika. So Ataeva Sarva Pujya, Paramadevata, Sarvapalika, Sarva Jagatera Mata. And she's the mother of the entire universe. That's why Prabhupada says, mother is more merciful. Catch hold of the of mother's lotus feet. So we catch hold of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. Catching hold of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet is catching hold of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, which means that simply engaging preaching. Nothing else we need to do. Actually, this whole Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is inconceivable. Radharani is so merciful that she's tricked us, literally tricked us, because she came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then she gave us a um, means of activity, vidhana, method, uh, which is so easy. Just take some books, go out on the street, sing Harinama, preach to people. Now, these are things which are not very difficult for us to do. If we sit and say, okay, I'm going to do dhyana, or, I'm going to some, or some emotions have to develop in. Now, these are all not going to happen very easily. But for us, it's very easy. Just follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. So just engaging in these activities seem very natural to us. It's like an extension. It almost looks like material activity, isn't it? Just take some bag of books, go out on the road, you know, go talk to people, preach, distribute books. It seem like normal material activities which everyone can do. And because we are also fallen in Kali Yuga, if you say do dhyana or do this tapascharya, do this, do that, how many people will be able to do? Or do puja? We're not qualified. But everybody can simply go, engage in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. Right? So if you are engaged in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities, you are engaged in Radharani's activities. Huh? So literally we are, by engaging in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, we are pleasing Radharani. So this is the means of perfection. We don't have to worry about, I talked about Vaidhi Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti. We don't have to worry about all that. Just drown ourselves in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Automatically perfection will be achieved. Automatic. Initially, I was not able to understand these things. I was thinking like, why so much emphasis on seva, go out, do stuff, Harinam, book distribute. I was just like, I was thinking I'll sit at home and do chanting. But that's not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Of course, Harinama is the Yuga Dharma. We have to chant. But extra mercy we need to move forward. That special mercy will come when we become a soldier in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. So that day we had a we had some meeting in our Hulimau center. We are planning to do some, like Gita Sar, and we're trying to reach out to, I mean, going aggressively from the on the preaching front. We've been now 1 year in that area, so we said, let's try to go more aggressively. And I was telling everybody, saying that, see, we are now becoming real soldiers in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. That means everybody who's participating here will get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which means that they'll get the mercy of Radharani. Nothing else needs to be done. Mm. So she is so merciful that she's given us a method process which is so easy to follow. All we need is surrender. That's all. Actually, if we just simply surrender, then it's very easy. She'll protect us. She's the protectress of all. Sarvapalika. Uh, she will take care of us. Mm. The word Sarvakanti indicates that all beauty and luster rest in her body. Mm. All the Lakshmis derive their beauty from her. Now, we can't imagine this statement. What is the beauty of Srimati Radharani? All beauty rests in her. Just can't imagine what she might be like. What is her form? Mm. Because she has to attract all attractive. And just imagine what a form Radharani, how it should be. Because it has to attract Krishna, who is already so beautiful. I mean, who is like, who is like Kandarpa Koti. Mm. He can bewilder thousands of cupids. His form is so beautiful. Now imagine that it has to bewilder him. And generally, as if somebody is very beautiful, handsome, etc., they look at others, and if they are not very, if somebody is not like more beautiful, more handsome than them, it's okay, fine, big deal. Yeah, I'm only beautiful or handsome. Imagine Krishna's position, Krishna's form, and he has to be attracted by someone who is more attractive than him. Attractive doesn't just mean external features like I was discussing the other day. It is actually both. It's external and internal. Mind, body, words. Mind, senses, words. Mind, senses, body. Kaya, vacha, manasa. Everything has to be attractive. So she's Sarvakanti. Sarvakanti may also mean all the desires of Lord Krishna. All the desires of Lord Krishna rest in Srimati Radharani. Who said Krishna doesn't have desires? All his desires rest in Radharani. There's nothing else in his. He cannot think of anything else but Radharani. She's so attractive. Mm. Srimati Radhika fulfills all the desires of Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of Sarvakanti. So she fulfills all the desires of Krishna. And that is why we have to. Radharani knows how to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. We don't know. Guru Maharaj knows how to fulfill all the desires of Radharani. So what we have to do? Simply follow their instructions. Simply follow their instructions. We should know exactly what their instructions are, and we should simply try to follow. That's all. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasad. So we please Guru, which means that we please the acharyas, we please Radharani, which means that we please Krishna. Jagat Mohana Krishna. Jagan Mohana. Krishna is Jagan Mohana. He enchants the whole world. But Tahara Mohini. Tahara Mohini. She bewilders him also. Radha enchants. Sri Radha is the Purna Shakti and Krishna is the Purna Shaktiman. The two are not different. Like we've been discussing, they're indeed the same. Just as fire and its heat are not different. Thus Radha and Krishna are one. They have taken two forms to enjoy rasa. That's all. Leela rasa aswadite dhare dui rupa. Leela rasa aswadite. To experience, to taste Leela rasa. Uh, dhare dui rupa. They have assumed two forms. So this is the now a further discussion about principal cause for Lord Krishna's appearance. Hmm. Why did Krishna appear? It grows from his own engagements as the foremost enjoyer of loving exchanges. So he's Rasika Shekhara. Because he is Rasika Shekhara, he wants to enjoy those rasas, he has appeared. And Swarupa Damodar is the intimate associate um, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because uh, is identified as Lalita Devi, second expansion of Radharani, and Gauraganodesha Deepika. There's a book by Kavi Karnapura which recognizes who's who in Gaur Leela and Krishna Leela. So in that book it says Swarup Damodar is Vishakha Devi. So anyway, Dalita or Vishaka, very dear to Krishna. Mm. So he knows all the confidential stuff. And he reveals it to Raghunath Das Goswami when Raghunath Das Goswami comes to him. Mm. So, heart of Lord Chaitanya is the image of Sri Radhika's emotions. Thus, feelings of pleasure and pain arise constantly therein. There is pleasure and pain because it's the emotions of Radharani. Mm. Now, actually, when we go through this, Antya Leela, and when we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's emotions that he is displaying, we can understand the position of Srimati Radharani. Mm. And when we understand what is the position, what is he experiencing? So much of pain he's experiencing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing so much of pain. Why? Because of separation from Krishna. We can't understand this. Radharani cannot exist for a moment without Krishna. And Krishna cannot exist for a moment without Radharani. So when Radharani is not there with Krishna, she is in utter despair. She is in utter sorrow. And that is why the gopis and the manjaris are always engaged in trying to bring Radha and Krishna together. Because they can't see the suffering of Srimati Radharani. So it's one thing to become the dasa of Krishna. It's another thing to become the dasi of Srimati Radharani. So all the manjaris, gopis, they're just constantly endeavoring to make Radha and Krishna meet. Because otherwise, Radharani cannot exist. She experiences so much pain. So these pains and pleasures are expressed in the behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which we will read, which is there in the Antya Leela. So he's Radha Bhava Murti. So Prabhupada is writing here. Lord Chaitanya's heart was full of the feelings of Srimati Radharani, and his appearance resembled hers. Swarup Damodar has explained his attitude as Radha Bhava Murti, attitude of Radharani. One who engages in sense gratification on the material platform can hardly understand Radha Bhava. But one who is freed from the demands of sense gratification can understand it. Radha Bhava must be understood from the Goswamis. Those are actually controllers of the senses. From such authorized sources, it is to be known that the attitude of Radharani is the highest perfection of conjugal love, which is the highest of the five transcendental mellows, and is the complete perfection of love of Krishna. These transcendental affairs can be understood on two platforms. One is called elevated, and the other is called super elevated. The loving affairs exhibited in Dwaraka are the elevated form. The super elevated position is reached in the manifestation of the pastimes of Vrindavana. The attitude of Lord Chaitanya is certainly super elevated. From the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, an intelligent person engaged in pure devotional service can understand that he always felt separation from Krishna within himself. In that separation, he sometimes felt that he had found Krishna and was enjoying the meeting. Sambhoga. The significance of this separation in meeting is very specific. If someone tries to understand the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya without knowing this, he's sure to misunderstand it. That is why all these have to be based on proper understanding of tattva. One must first become fully self-realized. Right now, we are just trying to understand knowledge, Gnana. But coming to the platform, Vijnana is still much far away. But one must first become fully self-realized. Fully self-realized means know that, okay, I am not this body. Otherwise, one may misidentify the Lord as Nagara or the enjoyer of the damsels of Raja. And this is specifically with respect to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not the enjoyer of the gopis. He is the enjoyer of Krishna because he is displaying the mood of Radharani. And so if somebody thinks that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the enjoyer, that is actually, it said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should not, peacock feather should not be given to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But we see that it's done. But because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not in that mood, in that bhava. He's not in Krishna's bhava. If you put peacock feather, then it is Krishna's bhava. Anyway, that's a controversial topic. But so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just exhibited Radha's bhava. Radha Bhava Murti. In the final portion of his pastimes, Lord Chaitanya was obsessed with the madness of separation from Krishna. He acted in erroneous ways and talked deliriously. Yeah, it's inconceivable what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does. But sum and substance of that, like I said, is the mood of Radharani. So we can understand the love of Radha towards Krishna and the pain she is undergoing. And anybody who reads that should naturally feel, what can I do to alleviate this? How can I reduce this pain? Can I do something? And then we would like to engage in the service of Srimati Radharani. Just as Radhika went mad at the sight of Uddhava, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was obsessed day and night with the madness of separation. At night, he talked incoherently in grief with his arms around Swarup Damodar's neck. He spoke out of his heart in ecstatic inspiration. Whenever a particular sentiment arose in his heart, Swarup Damodar satisfied him by singing songs or reciting verses of the same nature. To analyze these pastimes is not necessary now. Later, I shall describe them in detail. But it's not. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's heart is naturally going in to describe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's emotions because they're not different from Radharani. But then he's holding himself back, saying, no, 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 this is not the time for discussing, because he's discussing something else. He's trying to explain what this whole, uh, what is the confidential reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to appear, and which means he's trying to explain Radha, he's trying to explain Krishna, he's trying to explain gopis. So he's saying, no, no, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's emotions that will come to later. Formerly in Braja, now again he comes back to the topic. Formerly in Braja, Lord Krishna displayed three ages, namely childhood, boyhood, and adolescence, which is mm, Kaumara, Pauganda, Kaishora. Kaumara, Pauganda, Kaishora. His Kaishora is especially significant. Vatsalya, Vatsalya Aveshe Kaila Kaumara Safala. So Kaumara became successful with Vatsalya Rasa. Pauganda with Sakha, Sakhya Rasa. And Kaishora with Shringara Rasa. In youth, in Kaishora, he tasted the essence of rasa, fulfilling his desires in pastimes like the rasa dance, Srimati Radhika, and the other gopis. In his youth, Lord Krishna made all three of his ages and the entire universe successful by his pastimes of amorous love like the rasa dance. Again, so the word here, Kaishora, Vayase, Kama, Jagata Sakala, Kama. So the word Kama is used. Kama means sense gratification, right? But with respect to Krishna, yes, sense gratification means he's gratifying himself, which is perfectly fine. But from a tattva perspective, we should not misunderstand it as material kama. So we should understand that it is prema or bhakti. From our perspective, from his perspective, it could be called anything. It doesn't matter because everything is pure, right? If you just think of kama and think of some, material, some erotic stuff, that is just our fallen condition. But for example, the word amorous love for us, if you just look at that word translation and look up the English dictionary, we will go crazy by seeing that mixed dictionary meaning. Because we are in conditioned state, we will look at that and just think from our conditioned fallen perspective. But we have to see from Krishna's perspective. That is why beginning only Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said Krishna is all pure. If Krishna were not all pure, if Krishna's activities were not all pure, why would why would exalted devotees, acharyas glorify, talk about some fallen affairs? No, it's all pure. But we are fallen, so we cannot understand. Which is why I said, which is why Bhagavatam also says we have to keep continuously reading these things, even though if that we understand, appreciate, or whatever, we'll get purified over a period of time because these topics are transcendental. Vishnu Purana says Lord Madhusudana enjoyed his youth with pastimes on autumn nights in the midst of the jewel-like milkmaids. Thus he dispelled all the misfortunes of the world. So this whole the Leela that he does with the gopis and Srimati Radharani, it dispels all the misfortunes of the world. Okay, I'm not going to read the next verse because it might just bewilder us. O Purnamasi, if Lord Hari had not descended in Mathura with Srimati Radharani, his entire creation, and especially Cupid, the demigod of love, would have been useless. So this is from Vidagdha Madhava. So we should understand. So the that's why I said yesterday, they are private affairs of Radha and Krishna. Um, yeah, we first finish Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Bhakti Rasa, Nectar of Devotion, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when we come to Chaitanya Charitamrita, what happens is these kind of statements just throw us off our seat. Now, there are verses quoted, there are topics quoted, and not full explanation is given. Not full understanding is given. For example, this verse, it says, entire creation, especially Cupid, demigod of love, would have been useless. Now, what do we understand of it? What do we make out of it? So what happens is when we start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, our heart starts, you know, unsteady because we can't understand this. We can't understand many of these things. We need purports, but there are no purports here. For many of these verses, there are no purports, which is intentional. So then devotees go into that, you know, no, they want to understand things. And then we'll want to understand, no, what does this mean? When I read this statement, this kind of thought is coming to my mind, but I don't know if it is right or wrong. So how do I understand? And then slowly and steadily we'll uh, connect with higher scriptures, acharyas, works, etc., etc. And that's our gateway. So for which we have to finish, we have to very studiously study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, and then come to Chaitanya Charitamrita. If we are reading without any intention to understand, like I did first time when I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I didn't read it with an intention to understand, because even if I'd had an intention, I wouldn't have been able to understand. So I simply read for to finish it. That happens first time, maybe second time. Mm. When we actually start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita or even Nectar of Devotion for that matter, with the actual intention to understand these things, then we will, our um, what is the word? Curiosity will take us here and there to various topics. Then we will start talking to devotees. Then we'll ask devotees, "Oh, I read this. I can't understand. What does this mean? Where? What else should I read? How do I?" No, this is Krishna consciousness. Half of the time we are just reading to complete. But if you actually read to with the intention to understand, clarify things, then we will actually start Shravanam. That is the mood of Shravanam, where we're not able to understand and we are like fish out of water. Okay, so I'll stop here. So these topics are, like I said, it's just a peek into what that exalted platform of Krishna Prema is, especially Shringara Rasa. Of course, other rasas are also discussed, but I understand that everybody would be feeling like fish out of water now. It's difficult to understand these topics, but I wanted to give a taste of really higher topics. And the intention is, again, we are still not discussing any leelas, but this itself should make us, anxious, curious, want to know more. Um, and hopefully we will become more dedicated to reading Prabhupada's books as it is, and then coming to these platforms. Okay, I'll stop here. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo jagatikānam bhāgavate Vaishnavabhyo. Hare Krishna. Any questions, thoughts?